Hey guys, welcome back to American Truck Simulator. Captain Klutch here once again. Today we've got another episode lined up where we'll be picking up another shipment and heading north up the California coast. Got a pretty good trailer lined up to be picked up today. I think you guys will enjoy that. As well, I want to talk a little bit about a truck accident that's actually happened up in our neck of the woods fairly recently, and kind of the new ramifications that have come down the pipe over that. So, got a good episode lined up today. Stay tuned, and we'll be back in a sec. Hey guys, so I've got a little bit of bad news. The shipment I was hoping to take up to Santa Cruz, yeah, there's no way I could make it there to the depot in time to pick it up. So unfortunately, without a time machine, I had to find something else. Now this trailer isn't nearly as flashy as the one I had planned to pick up, but you know what, it's still going to Santa Cruz, and that's kind of where I wanted to go anyways. So we're going to follow the coastline up. Yeah, it's just another shipment, that's all. It is what it is. That's what you got to do sometimes, right? Still got to pay the bills. So yeah, we've got, I believe it's flour in this load here, so we'll get our legs up. Roughly 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now. Let's take a quick look here. Yeah, so we got about 50,000 pounds of flour, just shy of 50,000. We're heading to Santa Cruz. We've got a little bit of time, but it's getting late already, so we better get on the road here. So we do have 287 miles to cover, and we're going to need to get fuel, I believe. I was looking at my fuel gauge there a minute ago, and it is looking pretty hurting. So let's find some fuel. Let's look at our map here actually, because I believe, yeah, so we're way down here in Oxnard. I could actually go back in and get some fuel. There's a fuel stop right behind us too. But you know what, I think we're going to go to Santa Maria and we will pick up fuel here. And then, yeah, because there's nothing else on this stretch, and we only have about a third of our tank left, or a quarter, and that's not nearly enough for this trip. Alright, so off we go. She's a little bit rainy out right now, as you can see. That's too bad. I was looking forward to the trailer I was going to pick up, but I won't ruin the surprise. Remember the road here? No, I don't actually. I remember the traffic in this area. Oh gee, nope, I'm gonna have to drive over top of that. That's alright. No damage, to me at least. Alright, can I get over? I'll let some cars go by. We got blue skies already. That's perfect. Alright, so we're on our way up the California coast. Excellent. So the fuel will be our one issue to deal with on this trip. That should be fairly status quo, I would think. I have a funny feeling traffic's going to be a bit busier than normal. What we've been used to at least, but we'll see. So what I wanted to talk about quickly, if you pay attention at all to, I guess, the NHL hockey playoffs this past year, you would be well aware of the accident that happened up in Canada, which you may know I'm from as well, but it involved a junior hockey team, Huboldt Broncos. Whoa, what's going on here? Out of the way of this guy. Oh, that was close. Anyways, so what this was a bus full of junior hockey kids that was involved in an accident with a tractor trailer unit. They were playing in their respective playoffs, in a junior league playoff game, and yeah, they never made it. What's he doing? Are you not letting me in? Thank you. Yeah, so it was a major incident. If you were watching any of the local news or the national news at that time in North America, at least I'm sure you would have heard something about it. Or during the hockey playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, there was quite a few mentions, moments of silence, tributes, and such that were done during the games. So I'm sure if you were paying attention to that at all, you would have heard about this accident. Just some details on the actual accident. I think it slows down right here, doesn't it? Yeah, it's down to 30. Go. So it was a secondary highways out in the country, quite a ways from any towns, at least 20 minutes or so from any towns, I believe it was. In north or eastern central Saskatchewan area. And yeah, so it was two secondary highways. Both vehicles, the tractor trailer and the bus, were doing near highway speed, so 100 kilometers an hour. The bus had the right of way, it was a straight through section, and the tractor trailer had a stop sign, which is believed to have allegedly ran, did not stop for, and T-boned into the passenger bus. There were 16 have died because they were on board that bus, as well as 13 others that were seriously injured. So like I said, there was many tributes have come out over the last few months. Now this happened back in early April, I believe it was. And since then there's been a number of different things that have kind of come to light, or policies have been starting to be enacted, and yeah, because of this tragedy, I guess a bit of a knee-jerk reaction in the industry as well. So I'm trying to figure out exactly how to help prevent this type of incident from ever happening again. Huboldt, Saskatchewan is a very small town, a very small community, tight-knit, and yeah, the effects of this incident, I'm sure, are still being felt and dated right now, 3 or 4 months, or 4 months, I guess it is, after the incident. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the initiatives that are being done to hopefully help prevent some of this stuff. The number one thing right now is driver training. So to go get your professional driver's license, it's really just a test. There's no requirement or any courses. You can prove you can drive a rig and still obey the traffic laws, then you are good to go. I did take a course when I received my license, my commercial driver's license. I believe it was 2 weeks off the top of my head, maybe 3. This was going back quite a few years, so pardon me, I can't quite remember. But anyways, it did teach me quite a bit. That being said, there was some stuff I don't know. It's more about stick time with having an instructor right there with you, and yeah, just giving you guidance on exactly what to do. New laws that they're proposing on doing are just forcing everybody to take some kind of a course in order to be eligible to take a Class 1 license or a commercial driver's license. I do foresee a few problems with this. If this is a privately run industry, which in many provinces it is, so if all the driver's eds are privately owned, there is a pretty high potential for it to be fraudulent. So depending on how it's set up, if it's set up properly, I mean, you can get around it, but if you know anything set up from the government, chances are it's probably not going to be set up all that well. It's just going to leave it to the free market, where who knows what people will do with it. And if there's a way to scam people out of money, or mess with the system, or get people through a system that don't necessarily deserve it, then they'll find a way, right? Yet again, oh, this is getting tight. Don't hit my trailer. If we were to leave it to the public sector, the government were just to run everything, then the amount of red tape to get through in order to have the system in place, no one would ever have their commercial driver's license at all. It just wouldn't be possible. So I don't know what the answer is to that. We'll see. I'm sure we'll hear something in the coming years. I know they're trying to push stuff through a little bit faster. It was on the docket for an upcoming meeting, or an upcoming session, and they've kind of pushed everything up as fast as they possibly can to start talking about this sooner than later. So we'll see where that goes. We are now, where are we? Santa Clara? Yeah, we're getting fuel here. So we'll just stop in here and get some fuel. Now, I should be able to turn right here, I believe, but I'm sure I will get a ticket if I do. No. turn right in California on reds? Let's find out. Yes, I can. Okay, good. So our fuel station is just at the end of the block here on the right. A cute little place. I need to get some accessories on this truck. She's looking a little bit bland. I need to get some new rims. But I don't got the money for that right now, that's for sure. Maybe probably shouldn't be using my Jake in town either. Oh, this guy took my spot. That's okay. He won't be long. I'll sit up and behind him here. I hope. See, there we go. Just like I planned. Alright. Probably get, I'm gonna guess 425 worth of fuel. What do you think? Somewhere in that range. We're almost empty. Oh, 402. That's not bad. Not bad at all for a guess. So that was on, yeah, about a quarter. We're almost on the red there. So that's good to know. Alright. Interesting looking Walmart. What time we got here? Must be around 5. Feels like rush hour. Traffic's getting backed up everywhere in here. Alright, let's see what we can get out of here. Should do it for here. Nice little town. We'll have to come back at some point and run a few shipments out of here. You guys stay there. So we still got, let's see here, 200 miles to go. We're at what time? 5 o'clock? Yeah, we'll be close. Close to nightfall. Alright, back on the highway. So back onto our Huboldt crash discussion. And another initiative that was brought to the truck drivers that are talking about putting in and forcing them to take courses before getting a professional driver's license. They're also talking about forcing seatbelts on buses now. Now the original logic behind not having a seatbelt on a bus, and you've probably been on a bus in North America and noticed that there's never any seatbelts. But that goes for school buses, passenger buses, public transit buses, anything. But the original logic is simply that if the bus were to go into a lake or were to catch fire somehow, that people would not potentially be able to self-extricate. Now, especially school-age kids. I mean, you could potentially have, I believe the larger school buses take up to 90 kids. If it were to even roll into a lake or something, pond, just roll onto its side, who knows? And they were all seat belted in. How many of those kids would be able to get out of the bus on their own? Because it doesn't matter how long the rescue or how close the rescue are to it, they're not going to be able to get many of these kids out before it's too late. Oh, what do we got going on here? Let's see if we can get over. That was close. That was close. Someone's in trouble. So yeah, even in school buses, they have the large padded seats, obviously, right? So when the school bus is ever involved in an incident, everything's fairly padded, and it keeps kids fairly secure. And I did read a stat at one point in time over the last few years. I think they're averaging, they say on school buses, so every school bus in North America, and there are many hundreds of thousands or millions of those run every single day. there is on average only 6 deaths in kids per year, which is pretty, I think that's a pretty good stat. I mean, obviously you want to have 0 is your goal, but I mean, when we're talking millions and millions of kids that are on school buses every day, I think 6 deaths is actually a pretty good number. Now, I'm not sure if seatbelts would have helped out in this Huboldt crash situation either. It's tough to say, and I mean, it's easy to what if this to death, but there's potential, I guess, for a seatbelt that could have done something. I'm not an expert in the field, but I mean, you hear the bus industry obviously is all over it. They think we should go ahead with it, but it's tough to take them seriously because they're just going to jack the prices up on new buses and pass that cost on to the consumer. So it's more of it's just more profits for them in their pockets. So of course they'll be on board with it. I'm sure they don't want to have any deaths on their hands in one of their buses either. So if any extra costs for safety, I'm sure is really beneficial to them anyways, right? Was I really speeding again? What was I doing here? I felt like I wasn't going that fast. Yeah, I guess it was doing 60 something. Just lost track of speed because everyone was passing me. So anyways, that was the second thing. I believe that's being actually lobbied by some parents of some of the kids that were killed in the accident. So we'll see where that goes in the coming years. There's potential for that as well. Maybe some more studies can be done into it to see if that's an acceptable reason to start thinking about putting these seatbelts in buses. Lastly, the last thing that's coming out that I wanted to speak about in regards to that. What is this guy doing up here? Oh, the driver of the tractor trailer has now been formally charged. I believe 29 counts. So he's been criminally charged with 29 counts for the injuries and deaths of all those that were involved. So we'll have to see what the courts rule on this. I'm not sure if there's ever been a case where it's gone to that extent or not. But I mean, there's no indication that he was drinking, whether it was inattention or if he fell asleep. I'm not sure if we'll find that out. There's been no interviews done with the driver. I believe he's a 29-year-old man. He had very little experience, my understanding is, of very little experience driving tractor trailer. He'd only been a professional driver for a number of months at that point in time. So I'm sure we'll get more details when they go to court. I'm not sure if it'll come of anything. I'm a little bit apprehensive about having criminal charges be placed on him. Now, if he ends up going to prison, I don't know what good that's going to do to anybody, but I'm not sure if that's the right answer or not. I don't have a feeling that he meant to harm anybody, and I can't see anyone doing that. But I mean, if there's some kind of penance that has to be paid, I guess, as society to move forward, I guess that's what we have to go with. But sending this man to prison over this and destroying his life completely, I'm not sure if that's the right way to go either. Unfortunately, yeah, there's not much else we can say for the victims of the crash itself. It's a bit of a tragedy. Not much else can be done. I don't know if you watch any of the NHL games that happened during that time frame, it was pretty incredible to see, and being up here as well in Canada. I'm not sure if too many American cities were taking part in this, but most Canadian cities, it was almost a tradition for most families to put out hockey sticks on their front steps. So you'd walk around towns and cities, and you'd see everyone had hockey sticks on their front steps to kind of remember the Huboldt Broncos. That was an interesting time. It was a pretty emotional time for a lot of people, and no one could really understand what the reasoning for this tragedy was, I guess, and I don't think it ever will. Anyways, so those are our three kind of things that are happening as far as with this crash goes. So being a professional driver nowadays can be Yeah, definitely a little on the scary side. You really got to make sure you're on top of everything. You are responsible for an awful lot of people on the highway potentially. Curious to how the criminal proceedings go if it turns out that it was just a simple mistake. You know, he missed the stop sign. 5 o'clock at night, the sun would have been fairly low, if not down completely around that time. In April, would have been coming down somewhat low. Would have been at dusk. Not quite, maybe. And if it's an unfamiliar road, he just missed that stop sign. Is that worthy of a criminal charge? Anyways, it'll be curious to see how this work test turns out. So we still have roughly, what, 40 miles to go, so we're getting pretty close. Another couple minutes here, and we'll be into Santa Cruz. We'll drop off our 50,000 pounds of flour. You definitely notice it's got some weight to it. Sun's just kind of starting to set over there, off to the west. They did a actual live season of California right now, I think everything would be on fire. The way California has been the last few months, it's unfortunate. It seems like that happens almost every year now, though. There's just wildfires after wildfires after wildfires. It seems that California summer is just wildfire season, and that's all there is to it. I can't say I've been in California in the summer, so I just picture everything being kind of smoky and hazy the whole time, unfortunately. Now, that being said, it is a fairly big state, so there's plenty of room, I guess, but I just know even from last summer in Western Canada how much smoke we had everywhere here when there was a few wildfires that were burning the province over. Yeah, it seemed like we were smoke advisory. All you could smell was smoke constantly for most of the summer almost. So, and it seems like that's what California has to deal with year in, year out right now. It sure looks nice in this game, though. I'll give them that. I think I can turn right. I can turn right without a green. Yeah, perfect. Excuse me. Euro truck, I always seem to get tickets for that. Just assume I can go, but I guess I can't. So we made it just as the sun starts setting. Excellent. You know what? I think I have seen one of these styles of docks before. Yeah, this is going to be a pain. we're on the far side, and there's no room to turn around in there, so I'm gonna have to back down the whole way. Alright. What's this guy doing? Is he breaking in? Seriously, dude, what are you guys doing? You guys casing this place or what? I think it's a Walmart, isn't it? He's cleaning windows, I guess. Kinda. Kinda, sorta. Alright. Let's see here now. I am not in far enough. That's not gonna work. So I'm gonna have to go forward a bit further. That's too bad. I was hoping I could just kind of cut it in right there, but no such luck. Alright, now I should be able to just walk it around the corner. The problem with this is you've really got to watch your nose now, because I know I've got some cars on this side, and I can't just swing it over. Otherwise the nose of my truck is just going to plow into one of these cars. Like this little Nissan or whatever this is right here, Lexus. Okay. Perfect, so we got around that. Now we just got to time our corner to put this trailer on that far back side there against the wall. Just bad it wasn't in the middle they wanted it. There's not a lot of room back here to get that trailer in. Alright, now we're going to start cutting this thing over. And on front we should be fine now. Yeah, we are. Good. Excellent. And should be able to see it on both sides. Nope, wrong way. Caught myself off guard there for a sec. Perfect. And that's all she wrote. Alright. Well, thanks for coming along for the ride, guys. Please do remember to like and subscribe if you have a chance. Keep the shiny side up, and we will see you next time.